She might be in the waiting room, but I'll have to check.
No, we'll see it. Hmm. Okay, I see we're live.
Okay, folks, we are live here for the ripple effect, and my name's David, and this is Erica, and uh, we might have a guest joining us. We were having a little technical difficulties, but we were um, want to get
Yes.
started anyway. And I didn't do any crib sheet for this interview because you know the guest well. We'll leave her as a surprise guest, but we can talk about our other stuff first. I wanted to just ask how you were, how you are today, Erica. And I know you were recovering from your swim meet, but do tell us about your swim meet and
Yes,
what you have going on.
I had a great time this past weekend. We were swimming 3 days with the Pacific Masters Championship swim meet. And I didn't disqualify, I didn't DQ at all. And my goggles, I figured out a strategy to keep my goggles from blipping off. The first couple events, I was like managing that. And I had a couple of firsts, like I did a 400 IM, which is like intense for the body. The 400 IM is crazy. So I did it in under 9 minutes.
Wow.
Woohoo! So that was exciting. And so yes, my body is recovering, and I'm noticing that I need more sleep right now. So I was getting like 10, 11 hours of sleep to deal with that. It was a lot of fun though. I had a great time.
I'm just sharing this on Facebook here.
Okay,
Um,
good.
yeah, I mean, I used to be a swimmer, as we talked about, and it's just great that you're at that level. I know my dad, my aunt actually won some awards like in a national meet. Oh, here's Anna. Um, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but she does master swimming. It's just amazing the level that people compete at the in the master swimming. So, they got a great pool in Walnut Creek, and isn't the other one in Alameda? Hi, welcome. I'm going to
Yes.
let you introduce our guest, and we'll do a what do they call that breaking news jump in here?
Anna Banks, I'm so excited you could get on here and you figured it out.
Oh, I am too. I apologize.
No
I don't know
worries.
what was going on.
No,
Yes,
it's
this
okay.
is
You got
great.
here. We got you. We got you. We're so excited to have you on. I was telling David a little smidge about you. I just was in a swim meet this weekend, so I was talking about that. And yeah, it was really fun. It was crazy and happy. And I didn't disqualify. I did not DQ, and my goggles stayed on. Woohoo! So
Ruth,
yeah.
that's great, Erica.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun, and I'm like still riding the high of that experience. So, but nobody on this coast knows about you, so I'm so excited for you to meet this community. And I know Anna from the East Coast. I just got to see Anna a few weeks ago at our friend's 80th birthday party, and I was like, Anna Banks, oh my God, you're famous to me. And so everybody who's getting to meet Anna D. Banks for the first time, I can't wait for you to share with people about yourself and what you do. But I know her as like, royalty from this transformational training that I got to be a part of back on the East Coast in New York. And actually, it originated from the Bay Area. That's where we are right now. And so, how are you? You got here.
I am so well. I am just great, and just excited to be with you and to talk with you and your audience.
Yeah, and David is my comrade on this. We call this the ripple effect. So the little things lead to big things and bigger things, and it's very positive and healing. And I know you're all about that. So tell us about yourself and your work these days, and your executive coaching work, and how you got to that. I'd love to have you share your story.
Oh well, sometimes I don't think there's much of a story, and yet I've been on the planet for a few years, and so there are a few things that I've done. I really am a teacher by calling, for lack of a better word. I love to teach and to help people to move to whatever their next level is. And so I worked in the corporate space for a number of years, you know, corporate government. And then I had the opportunity to start looking at the coaching industry. And that really came out of that work that we were doing back on the East Coast. Just had some phenomenal people around me and just encouraged me to really look at coaching. And so as a result of that, I still coach. I coach mid-level corporate and what do I want to say? Government, the people that work in mid-level government, SEC, or what they call senior executives, that are at that royal age of 50 and above, that are looking to really transition out of their space and into something else that might be more fulfilling, or their next life. And so I've been doing that for several years now, after not doing as much in corporate training. I still do some corporate training and some government work, but I love the coaching because it's so forwarding, and it really helps people, first of all, get into like their own bodies and understand what's next for them, or at least try to find out what's next for them. And so I call myself a guide for that, for helping people to move to whatever that next thing is for themselves.
Wow, that's so cool. I love the guide word. And so it's like the people who kind of have had some seasoning in corporate, seasoning in government, and then it's like, what's next? And they're going off to do work within companies, or they're going off to do work their own individual coaching work.
Well, it's actually it could be a number of things.
Okay.
For some of them, they're looking to take what they've already learned, their experiences in government or in corporate, and looking to even go out and support other nonprofits or nonprofits with their expertise. Or some of them are actually looking to go into consulting with the same skills that they had. And others are looking to just transition all together and do something that they've always loved, but they had the job.
I may actually have a referral for you. We'll see. I don't know if you are looking for new clients, because people like you are hard to find, and I think there's such a great need in government, and for right what you're talking about. So nice to meet you, and we love having coaches on this show and talking about kind of transformation and work and life. And I actually was telling Erika, I did the Landmark Forum way back when. That was my first experience in this type of I don't even know what you'd call that. It's really personal development, but that's in San Francisco, and I didn't realize there was a lot of other things in San Francisco. If you don't mind just telling us a little bit about that community and kind of how you got into doing what you do.
Well, I think for me, I've always been looking for what's next. There's been something that's been inside of me that has always said, Anna, there's more. There's more value you can bring. There's more value that's even in you that can be brought forth. And so one of my friends, she really wasn't a friend at that time. Her husband, I met him, he was going to my church. And, we started talking one thing and another. And then I was also doing a radio show at the time. And she and I actually were coming back from Trenton, New Jersey. And we just started talking. And what she was saying to me just intrigued me so, until I had to start to investigate. And I did. So I didn't go Landmark. I did the Life Spring at that time. That's what it was called. And what it did for me was open me up to possibilities that um, also helped me to align my own spiritual base with what could be possible. And that to me was very exciting. And to be in that community, oh my goodness, it was electrifying. It really, really was, because people were going for it in their lives in a way that I had not seen in the communities or in the people that I was with. Does that help?
Yeah, no, that's perfect, and you're very succinct, and this is all music to our ears here, on this show. And Erica, we love talking about this stuff. So, what you just said is very powerful. That there's some really key concepts about getting in alignment with our passions, or kind of what we want to do in our soul. And I think a lot of times sometimes it's just a slight tweak, like you mentioned the nonprofit sector. We just had Holly on last week. Sometimes it's taking your experience and forming a nonprofit. Other times it's just like a slight tweak in the job that you do, maybe moving to a different company, or so we're all about it. We'd love to just Erica, I want you to have a chance to answer another question. We're kind of going just off the cuff here, so feel free.
Oh,
Well,
that's okay.
yeah. It's like, what I want to say is like this work of transformation, it's like opening up who you didn't know that you could be, or your little possible angels that are saying, yes, you can. And, what gives you excitement and goosebumps, and where's the energy going forward, and then to go with it. And so that's what I feel like this work does, of coaching work, finding out those places that you didn't know that, whoa, I didn't know that, and then taking a step. So anyway, does that give you some ideas, Anna, of other places you want to share about?
Well, just to really be more specific, as I mentioned, the people that I work with more now are over 50, or 50 and over. So they're looking at retiring from their corporate or their government job, and they're looking to find another level of joy, of
The what's next. Yeah.
of excitement.
Yeah.
That's things that they've kind of forgotten, because for 30, 40 years, they've been kind of, I won't say completely in lockstep, but you have to stay within the confines. You have to kind of color within the lines, at least most of the time.
Yeah.
And many of them have, especially because most of them are also women, they've had children, they have, families and stuff like that to take care of. So they're not as likely in the mid-level of their lives, or, in the earlier parts of their lives when they're still raising their children, to think about stepping outside. But as they get closer to retirement and they start to wonder, okay, I'm still in pretty good shape. They may not be swimming like you, but there's still a zest for life. And they want to explore, well, what do I do with the next 20, 30 years of my life? Because the truth of the matter is, if you retire at 65 from a corporate or from a government job, if you keep yourself in relatively good shape, now I'm not God and I'm not a physician, but chances are you're living another 25 years is more true than not.
Yeah.
And many of these people, these men and women, have not really thought about what am I going to do after 65?
Yeah, and I think the first step is just to even recognize that it might even be possible, that there's a little sliver about it might be possible. And I remember this anecdote, I think it was Rousseau, that our unhappiness is really the difference between what we think we can do and what we're actually doing. And if you think of two concentric globes, and that's our unhappiness. So if we're stuck in this little ball, but we know we're capable of a lot more, then you're basically completely miserable. So I think you need somebody to really, and there's a lot of people in jobs like that, that if you're not using all of your skills, or you're stuck in a box somewhere. So I think we need more people like you, and just to get people out of those boxes. But I guess we definitely want to know, like, who you, maybe a little bit how you work, and just how this process goes. Or do you see that as the first step, really, the recognition that there is more? And then I know it takes some time too. It really, my own journey, I had a business coach, and it really, you open this possibility, and it takes a couple months to even start registering, and then it really takes like 6 months or a year to even like start to get on that path, type of thing. But
Well, yes, yes, that's very true. But I think the first thing that does happen is that there is an awareness within you, because until you accept that place, like, there could be. That's where the coaching conversations can start. It's really a question of, is it possible? Is there something else that I could be doing, or what else could I be doing with the rest of my life? And then it's starting to explore that. And so the first thing that I usually do with people is I start with an assessment. I have a number of assessments. I use DISC, and I use, a couple of others, just to help people to ground themselves, to even look at the things that they're good at, even sometimes help them to acknowledge the things that they're good at. The things that make them happy, the things that make them sad. And then where can we go from there? Like I love to use the magic wand scenario, where I ask people, like, if you had a magic wand and you could do anything in the world that you really wanted to do, and you think that it would just make your life just an absolute blast, what would it be?
Yeah.
And to be honest, initially, well, some people, they have to kind of sit with that for a moment, because no one's asked them that in a very, very long time,
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. But once you give them just a few minutes, and that's where coaching really does help, you ask the question and then you shut up.
And in the space, all these insights come. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Because part of coaching is giving people permission to dream again. And for a lot of 50 and 60-year-olds, they haven't dreamt in a long time, because they sometimes feel it's foolish, that, I've already done some of that stuff before. But there really is life after retirement.
yeah,
Yeah.
I read some stats. Go ahead, Erica.
I was just going to say, we've seen that with our community of
Yes.
graduates of the LifeSpring trainings. Like, everybody's living large, serving in all the different ways we serve. What were you going to say, David?
I forget the stats, but there is some stats about people are the most miserable in their 30s, and it gets better in your 40s and 50s. So I think this is like averages. So I think there's so much kind of untapped potential there for people to be happier than they are. And I think a lot of that has to do with, if you have kids, you might feel like you're stuck somewhere, or until, but you get kind of a new lease on life. A lot of people, when those kids or that daily grind changes a little bit and you realize, oh, I can do something else for me that really makes me happy. And, um, that's exciting to hear that. We actually have my other co-host Corey on the other podcast uses that disc method, and he took me through that. There's so much value there. So we'd love to maybe have you on that podcast at some point. But
This is amazing, and it's it's very simple to understand, and it's really based around communications. And just when you think about it just from that perspective, how not only we communicate with others, but how we're also communicating with ourselves, looking at what our strengths are. And some people, they only look at what their strengths are in relationship to the jobs that they've done. But I always say that, deep within, there's always this little kid that's been waiting to get out in the last 30 years, and they just want to not just have fun, but they want things to be meaningful. And that's one of the other things that I'm finding with doing the executive coaching that I do with pre-retirees, is that they want someone to guide them into being the person that they've always wanted to be, or that they want to be now. And so that makes such a difference, when someone can get that permission.
If what is your way that people can best get with you, Anna? Like, what's your website? On your website, can people book some time with you to chat?
Yes, they can. But right now, what I'm mainly doing, as you know, Erika, is that I'm really focused a lot right now on not only just the coaching, but my podcast, because that's part of what helps people to make transitions.
What's your podcast? Let's make sure we know that.
Yes, it's the Urban Entrepreneur Show, which is one of why my background is an urban city.
Okay, I'm typing it in right now. Urban Entrepreneur Show, and that's how people can hear all of your amazingness more so. And Urban Entrepreneur Show, and then so we'll make sure to put that in our chat feed so people can look that up.
Yeah, and feel free to put that in the links or any other links you have when we see you there. I'll try to tag you. I got to add you as a friend, and that's exciting that you're doing the podcast, because when you have as much to share as you do, I find the podcast is really the best avenue to reach people, so.
Yeah, well, that's true, David. And you know what else that's really great about being a podcast host is that I get to share with our listening audience the stories of other people. There's some fabulous entrepreneurs out there that are providing so many gifts and services to the world. And I want to be able to tell their story. And so when Erika and I were together in New York, I told her a little bit about what I was doing. And so she told me about her podcast, and I would just love to have, both of you come on as entrepreneurs, to come on.
Yeah, we'll definitely come on. That sounds great.
Okay, so this is you, right? This is it, the Urban Entrepreneur Podcast?
Yes.
Woohoo, we got it.
Beautiful.
We got it. Okay. And
I know we're about at time for you, Erika, but we no problem.
Yeah.
Well, great. We'll definitely keep in touch, Anna. We'd love to have you back at some point. And what a beautiful surprise, Erika, to reconnect with Anna. And
it was gold. It was gold. I mean, like, Anna, you're amazing, and I'm so happy to have you on.
Well, so are you.
Oh
so
my
are
gosh.
you. Such a great time.
That was such a great time. And
minded people that we had, some of the people I haven't seen in years, and it was just like
it was it was very moving experience to be part of that. So I love you. I'm so excited that you got to be on our show, and let's keep dancing. I sent you my number, and we're going to keep connecting. Okay.
Thank you so much, Erica. And David, I can't wait to have both of you on my show.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And have a great rest of your day. David, thank you so much for being the best co-host ever. And let's ripple on out. Ripple effect on out.
All right. I'm rippling out of here. Thanks, folks, for listening. We'll see you next week.